From Northern Avenue in Yerevan, this is ＳիվիլNeթ's Daily News Digest. I'm Maria Titizian. Here are the top stories for Tuesday, February 4. Is there any law that the ruling majority can't pass? See what took place in Parliament yesterday. Amidst rising tensions, the OSCE Minsk Group Co-Chairs visit the region. The winter of Ukraine's discontent. See what is happening on the ground now. German parliamentarian urges Turkey to recognize the Armenian Genocide. Tensions were high yesterday during Armenia's parliamentary session. The leader of the ruling Republican Party faction, Kalus Sahagyan, proposed making changes to the National Assembly's ad hoc vote counting committee. His proposal included increasing committee members from 7 to 11, 5 of whom would be from the Republican Party, 2 from the prosperous Armenia Party, and 1 rep, each from the ARF, Heritage, Armenian National Congress, and Orinats Yergir parties. His proposal was outrightly rebuffed by the 4 opposition factions in parliament as yet another attempt to limit the opposition's ability to act as a counterbalance. To remind our viewers, the counting committee had declared Armenia's recent vote to ratify the controversial natural gas agreements with Russia invalid on December 24 after Heritage member Zarui Postanjan removed the electronic voting cards of Republican Party members in the National Assembly. Kalus Sahagyan's proposal was eventually adopted by a majority vote in Parliament. As a result, the vote counting committee will be comprised of representatives from the ruling coalition only, ultimately putting an end to opposition control over this key committee. The Armenian government has finally published the roadmap to Armenia's accession to the customs union. The 249-page document outlines a specific timetable of events and activities. Those include streamlining Armenian legislation, reviewing government acts and decisions, and international agreements, including import and export taxation laws and regulations, in order to comply with the customs union legislation. The government approved the roadmap on January 23, but it was only just been published and released to the public. The document is available only in Armenian and can be found on the egov.am website. On February 3, the OSCE Minsk Group Co-Chairs arrived in Baku, Azerbaijan, where they met with President Ilham Aliyev and Foreign Affairs Minister Elmar Mamadyarov. The Co-Chairs will meet with President Serge Sarkisyan and Foreign Affairs Minister Edward Nalbandian on February 5 in Yerevan. The Foreign Affairs Ministers of the two countries had met in Paris on January 24 as part of the ongoing negotiations for the peaceful resolution of the Karabakh conflict with the participation of the co-chairs of the OSCE Minsk Group and the personal representative of the OSCE chairperson in office, Ambassador Andrzej Kasperczyk. These meetings were held after the two presidents of Armenia and Azerbaijan had met in Vienna in November 2013. The mediators have expressed their deep concern over continued violence in the region and stressed that recent incidents undermine negotiations and diminish the prospects for peace. They called on the sides to fully and unconditionally respect the terms of the ceasefire agreement. Kasperczyk has also expressed the mission's concerns over the continuing tensions on the line of contact. The special representative said that the human losses caused by border flare-ups is a tragedy that could have been prevented if the provisions of the ceasefire agreement were respected. Meanwhile, during the Munich Security Conference, which was held from January 31 to February 2, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry announced that the U.S. is continuing its work towards the resolution of the conflict. He said, quote, "I can't think of a place in the world that we are retreating from, not one. We are actively and consistently working in all places, and our aim is to reach change. We're working on Cyprus quietly. You're not hearing about it. We're also working on Nagorno-Karabakh, the Caucasus," end of quote. Representatives of the International Committee of the Red Cross in Baku, Azerbaijan were permitted to visit Mamigon Khojoyan, a 77-year-old resident of Nerkin Garmurakhbir village in Armenia. On January 28, Khojoyan inadvertently crossed the Azerbaijani border and is being held by the Azeri military. The elderly villager suffers from mental disorders and he appeared on Azerbaijani television with a cast on his right arm. The Azerbaijani military claims that the 77-year-old man was part of an Armenian commando raid that attempted to infiltrate Azerbaijan. The International Committee of the Red Cross was able to convey information concerning his family and said that they would be monitoring his situation. Erika Steinbach, a member of the Bundestag in Germany and member of Chancellor Angela Merkel's Christian Democratic Union Party, has urged Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan to end the denial of the Armenian Genocide and apologize for the crime ahead of his visit to the country. Steinbach had said, quote, "I urge Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan to stop denying the genocide of Armenians and Assyrians by the Young Turk government of the Ottoman Empire 99 years ago," end of quote. Erdogan was in Berlin on Monday, hoping to boost relations between Turkey and Germany and secure Berlin's support to restart Turkey's membership process to the European Union. The Tumo Center for Creative Technologies has become the first educational facility to become a member of the TED-Ed Club program. TED-Ed Club is a new educational program which aims to cultivate and promote various traits in children such as creativity, analytical thinking, innovation, research, and development through special educational materials. Instruction will be in a dynamic and exciting format, and many diverse subjects will be taught to the students. Students with the best ideas will be featured in the TEDx Youth Conference. All Tumo members can participate, and you can apply for the program by visiting the link on the screen. The deadline is February 7. The Winter of Ukrainians' Discontent, Analysis and Scenarios was a lecture presented by Artur Mardirosyan, visiting from Kiev, Ukraine, at the American University of Armenia yesterday. Mardirosyan provided insights and analysis on the processes taking place in Ukraine based on his discussions with several key political actors and observations on the ground. ՍիվիլNeT's Maria Yeghazarian spoke with Mardirosyan and filed this report.
There are significant and important lessons that we Armenians and others can glean from the crisis in Ukraine, from their successes and their failures in negotiation, leadership and communication. And some of those most critical ones are don't go to the extreme public positions. It's going to be very difficult then to negotiate a deal at the table. Always find a golden bridge for the other side to leave. And if you are not negotiating with them, it's very difficult to construct that golden bridge.
Armenian chess grandmaster Levon Aronian dedicated his penultimate victory against Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura in the fourth round of classical chess at the Zurich Chess Challenge to world-renowned singer and Armenia's ambassador to Switzerland, Charles Aznavour, on February 2. Aznavour paid a special visit to Aronian during the tournament. Levon Aronian unfortunately lost to Italian Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana in the fifth and final round of the chess challenge yesterday. Norwegian Magnus Carlsen has a 2-point lead over Aronian as they participate in 5 rounds of rapid games today. The exchange rate is up on your screen as we take a look at your forecast. It will be sunny in Yerevan with a high of -8 and a low of -16. Armenia's second largest city, Gyumri, will have a high of -8 and a low of -23. The capital of Nagorno-Karabakh, Stepanakert, will be -3 degrees Celsius and a low of -11. And our travel forecast takes us to Tehran, the capital city of Iran. Armenians have lived in Tehran for over a century and have contributed significantly to modern Iranian society. The Armenian community in Tehran boasts several Armenian schools, a community center, and churches. Tehran is expecting snow today with a high of -3 and a low of -6. And that's our digest for this Tuesday, February 4. We leave you today with the music of Viken Derderian, an Iranian Armenian known as the Sultan of Persian jazz, if you can believe that. See you tomorrow.